Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to another edition of The Role of Law. Last week we had a candidate contesting for the presidential election of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. It was President's Counsel Salia Piris, and this week, just as we promised, we've got with us today President's Counsel Kuvera de Zoysa, the candidate also running for the presidency of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, the current chairman of the Junior Bar Committee. A very good evening, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Charlotte.
So, getting right down to it, the Bar Association of Sri Lanka is, of course, an important professional body in the country. And as all people are looking to their leadership, so is the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, especially amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. With the closure of courts and the challenges that ensued with the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic in Sri Lanka, everybody looked to the leadership of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. I recall a number of times where you too wrote to the Bar Association of Sri Lanka requesting them to intervene in the issue of closure of courthouses. What are the issues that you have identified in your activities in the run-up in your campaign for the Bar Association presidency, and how do you propose the Bar Association would respond to these issues under your leadership?
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I must first tell you, COVID pandemic is a health issue, after all. So, whether we like it or not, we call it the new normal now, we'll have to work under trying conditions. The legal profession is also very much affected because of the COVID pandemic. And not only to the Bar Association, I have also written to the Secretary of the Judicial Service Commission, drawing their attention. What happened with the COVID pandemic, a lot of courthouses in Sri Lanka were shut down. The most affected due to the closure of courts are the junior lawyers. For an example, in Colombo, the courts were shut down from the 24th of October and it was open on the 4th of January. During that period, so many junior lawyers have complained to me or brought to my attention that matter, since I am the chairman of the Junior Bar Committee, that they are finding it extremely difficult because some junior lawyers in fact even have gone to the extent of obtaining housing loans, car leases. So they found it difficult because their source of income was greatly affected. Now I remember when initially COVID pandemic broke out in the month of March, for 3 months the courthouses almost in the entire country were shut down. Completely shut down. So then periodically from place to place, depending on the situation, several courthouses were also shut down. For an example, Minoanguda Gampa, Attanagal, Kuliyapiti, those courthouses were shut down, and in fact, a lot of lawyers, not only the junior, including the seniors, they were facing severe hardships because their daily bread and butter was affected because of this. So what I say is, whether we like it or not, we'll have to work with these conditions. This new, so we call it the new normal. So we have to work with these conditions. So we'll have to consult in consultation with the health authorities, the other authorities, the PHIs, the MOH. So we'll have to, I have seen since during my visits to the bars, I have almost visited more than 90 bars in Sri Lanka. There are 87 branch associations. I have covered almost all, except 1 or 2 because I could not visit due to the COVID pandemic, but I'll be visiting them very soon. So I saw to myself that certain courthouses have adjusted themselves or adapted to the situations. So they were taking precautions and they are working on it. Now for an example, the biggest complaint that the juniors are making is that in courthouses, the calling cases are not being called in open court. So the juniors mostly appear in those type of cases. So they earn a fee for an appearance, and that is their source of income. So since calling cases are not called in open court, generally what happens is the calling cases by way of a notice, it's put up on the gate or the fence or whatever. The clients don't retain lawyers. They come to court, they just look at the notice, they go back. Sometimes there have been instances where lawyers have told me the clients inform the lawyers the next date of the case. So it's the client who informs the lawyer the next day, whereas it should have been the other way around. So by that, so we'll have to adapt ourselves, adjust and work in these conditions depending on from location to location based on the situations. So we'll have to take precautions. I say that we have to continue to work taking maximum precautions. You spoke about junior lawyers, sir, and in a bid to address this issue, there was a distress fund that was introduced. This was done by the Junior Bar Committee, but of course this was done a few months back.
There is an allegation that is being leveled at you, it's known by everyone, saying that this was something done in line with your campaign for the presidency of the Bar Association election. How do you respond to this?
Absolute nonsense, I would say. Absolute nonsense, because in the month, during the initial COVID breakdown period, in the month of March last year, 2020, there were several lawyers collecting funds, even from us. I have contributed, saying that these funds are for juniors, and there are juniors who are finding it extremely difficult to maintain themselves, especially in places like Aralagangwila, Polonnaruwa, Anuradhapura areas, where it was brought to my, even to my notice, to several seniors' notice, that they in fact have been standing in the queues to collect that 5,000 rupee grant given by the government.
Right.
So that was applied to the juniors. So at that time, in fact, as the chairman of the Junior Bar Committee, I suggested, I proposed to Mr. Kalini Indatissa, the incumbent president of the Bar Association, that there is a need. We should set up a contingency fund. So he will testify to that. That was in the month of March, April. So what happened was, so the Junior Bar Committee discussed this matter, and you must be aware that we opened up a Junior Bar Center, the Bar Association building, that is to cater for the juniors.
Right.
So that was done in the month of September. So when I wrote, especially the two conveners, Mr. Nishant Prematiratna and Mr. Janaka Basuri, the two conveners of the Junior Bar Committee, in fact, when they wrote to the Chief, Honorable His Lordship, the Chief Justice, inviting him to come and open the Junior Bar Center, in that letter, we have very categorically stated that we will also launch, what you call at that time, a contingency fund for the juniors. So that is in black and white, it has been reduced to writing, it is there. That was in the month of September.
Right.
So then things were getting a little better, but we were discussing of setting it up. Then suddenly the third wave came. So then there was a need, because so many juniors, the seniors had to come to their rescue. Sometimes the senior lawyers also found it difficult to help them, because the senior lawyers were also affected.
Right.
Because their income levels also dropped because of the closure of the courthouses. So then I took the initiative, and I gave the first contribution as the chairman of the Junior Bar Committee, and then we set up this, what you call, from contingency fund, we named it the distress fund. So we have now lined up with the Bank of Ceylon, the Bar Association, the president, signed the memorandum of understanding with the Bank of Ceylon. Now it is well in place. The bars the respective bars are to be notified. There is a mechanism drawn up. There is an independent committee who will evaluate the applications. So that is underway. So this was nothing to do with the elections. In fact, when the initial COVID breakdown it took place in the month of March 2020, I had no idea absolutely of contesting for the presidency of the Bar Association.
So this wasn't an ad hoc contingency fund?
Absolute nonsense. It was discussed. It was discussed with the president of the incumbent president of the Bar Association at that time, even in the month of March. So I brought to his attention the necessity to set up such a fund, because so many junior lawyers were seeking financial redress. So that is the background and history to this.
Right. Also, there has been much discussion regarding the independence of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. This goes down to the root of the vision and mission of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, which is the welfare of the justice system in the country at first, and also of its members. What kind of vision do you hold with regard to the independence of the Bar Association?
Shalan, when you talk about the independence of the Bar Association, this is nothing new to the Bar Association. Because the Bar Association Constitution, under the heading Objectives of the Bar Association, number 1, 2.1a clause deals with the independence of the bar, and also D deals with the independence of the judiciary, and also E deals with the rule of law. So it is nothing alien to the Bar Association. We as members, the principal office bearers of the Bar Association, plus the members, are bound to uphold the constitution of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. So any member, if you are a member of the Bar Association, may it be the president, may it be the secretary, or a member, we have to uphold these three core values: independence of the bar, independence of the judiciary, and also independence the rule of law. So I, as the president, will also, I can very categorically say that I will also uphold the independence of the bar, as well as the independence of the judiciary and the rule of law. There had been no allegation in the past against any of the presidents, I would say, for that matter, with all due respect to them, that all of them, at every given instance, where there had been a threat to the independence of the bar, or to the independence of the judiciary, or to the rule of law, they have always stood up for that, and they have always preserved and maintained the integrity of the bar and the independence of the judiciary and also the rule of law.
Sir, there are also aspersions that have been cast since the announcement of your candidacy for the Bar Association presidency that your candidacy for this election is in line with the government's aspirations to maybe take control of the Bar Association, that you will be more lenient to the activities of this government. There have been even allegations leveled that you are funded by certain members behind this government. I believe it's only fair that you be given an opportunity to respond to these allegations openly. What do you have to say?
First of all, I must tell you these allegations are absolute nonsense. I have never been involved in politics. I can very categorically say that. But having said that, I know different people in different political parties. They are my friends from all camps, the main political parties in Sri Lanka. Whatever political party, there are friends of mine who sits in the opposition as well as who sit in the government. And also I have appeared basically for all political parties when it comes to my professional duties. In fact, even I have appeared for the JVP in their cases.
Right.
So I have not aligned myself to any political party, I can very categorically say. And I am not here. I have no hidden agendas. I have no ulterior motives. I have no aspiration of accepting political appointment. I am here on a mission that is only my sole objective is to cater for the well-being and welfare of the members of the Bar Association and also to uphold the independence of the judiciary, to maintain rule of law and also the integrity of the bar.
So when you were speaking before, you said that at the time that the distress fund for junior lawyers was initially spoken of, you had no intention of running for the presidency of the Bar Association. If I kind of ask you a question, what is the reason behind your candidacy for the Bar Association election?
In fact, in the month of April, I would say, or May, several senior lawyers who have held key positions in the Bar Association, including people of the caliber of Mr. Romesh De Silva, President's Council, then Mr. Dayaratna, President's Council, then Mr. U.R. De Silva, and so on and so forth, former secretaries, treasurers, assistant secretaries, and of course, other seniors as well as junior members, made a request from me, or they basically invited that I should come forward as the president of the bar, since the profession is facing many challenges and the bar is facing many issues. Apart from upholding the rule of law, maintaining the independence of the judiciary and also the integrity of the bar, there are several other issues which I have outlined in my vision and the work plan. I have identified 26 key points under which I have given my solutions as well.
Right.
So the bar is facing many challenges. There is a need for a strong leadership, truly an independent person to lead the bar. A person without conflicts of interest, having no vested interest or hidden agendas. So they invited me. So what I did was, I basically, after that invitation was extended to me, since we have almost 21,000 lawyers in this country. So I believe that the office of President of the Bar Association, you need commitment, dedication, and also you have to sacrifice your time and spend time dealing with the issues faced by the bar. Because my experience is during my visits, I said I have visited to more than 90 bars in Sri Lanka, 90 courthouses. When I visit from one courthouse, for example, A to B, the issues faced by court B or the bar B is different to the issues faced by A.
Vastly different.
Vastly different. In fact, it's pathetic that certain places I found that even there is even a toilet facilities are not there. Especially because addressing the core values of the Bar Association, core values, the independence of the judiciary, upholding of the rule of law and maintaining the integrity of the bar will not alone resolve the issues faced by the bar. So that is what I have discussed in my vision and my work plan.
Sir, there is, speaking of the issues that are faced by the members of the Bar Association, also this issue is compounded by the COVID-19 pandemic. You spoke of junior lawyers. There is a high number of entrants into the legal profession and who now, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, will find it even harder to find a chamber to work under, to find a senior to work under because of the current situation in the country. Now, this has been highlighted in the document that you have presented, your vision and mission for the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. When dealing with the high number of entrants into the legal profession, what is the solution that you propose?
Now, that problem, I must tell you, Charlotte, there was a committee appointed in 2017 under the leadership of Mr. U.R. De Silva. At that time, the Deputy President was the Honorable Minister of Justice, Mr. Ali Sabri. At that time, he was the Deputy President. That committee, including my opponent, Mr. Salih Paris, President's Council, was also a member of that committee. That committee dealt with this question. And they have, in fact, I also served in that committee as an advisor. And they have addressed these issues. Overcrowding of the profession. It has gone to the extent of even addressing the curricula of law college. So that was gone into, deliberated, it was placed before the Bar Council. Now it has gone, the Council of Legal Education has approved it. Now I believe it's with the Honorable Minister. So that basically addresses all these issues. So it is in fact, I don't call it, it's a challenge for the legal profession, because as the chairman of the Junior Bar Committee, I know as a matter of fact, year on year, there are about 1,400 to 1,500 lawyers joining the profession. So we need to manage them. The question arises whether everyone has the ability or a place in court to practice, whether the workload has increased. When the numbers are increasing, whether the workload has increased. So many things have to be taken into account.
Not going into the specifics of this report in 2017, but by the general understanding, the essence of the report, does it recommend that the number of entrants into the legal profession be reduced by way of increasing the standards or the cutoff marks, anything like that?
No, it does not, but it deals with foreign graduates.
Right.
So there is a mechanism. I think one of the matters that they dealt in the report was, they are also given mind whether the numbers, whether Sri Lanka needs X number of, whether such number of lawyers are required. So I believe in that report, they have addressed as to how they should be dealing with foreign graduates. So there are institutions in this country who are offering degrees, even you can obtain a LLB degree, sad to say, by way of assignments. You pay money, by way of assignments you can obtain a LLB degree. So you need to standardize them. So by doing that, one can regulate the profession. The number of entrants. Because there is a question about the quality of our lawyers. For an example, if you take the legal profession, we need to go into the matter where we stand among the other professions.
And maintain the standard of the legal profession. And you believe that this can be done by regulating the entrance into the legal profession. And
one of my key suggestions in my work mission and my work plan is to bring up the standards, the quality of the legal profession.
President's Council Kuvera de Zoysa, your election into the office of President of the Bar Association is for a very short period of time. There are many issues that have been highlighted in your vision and your work plan. Do you believe that all of these can be achieved?
You know, Shalan, I must tell you, what I did was during my visits to all the bars in Sri Lanka, I've gone from I have gone up to Point Pedro, starting from Ambankaba, from this end to that end. I could not visit Batiklo and Trincomalee because of the COVID pandemic, but very shortly I'll be visiting those bars. What I do is I go and discuss the issues faced by the members of those respective bars. Then I come back to Colombo. I make a note of my team. I go with the team. I have a solid team backing me. I told you that majority of the principal office bearers of the Bar Association with experience, they are backing me during this election. So they are also quite a number of them accompany me, and what we do is we make a note of the issues that is brought to our attention. And I come back to Colombo, there is a team, and I give those concerns and the issues to the team, and we do research. We have been doing research, we have been working on them, we have been addressing those issues, and we have looked into as to how we can address those issues. So that is how I have compiled. In fact, this is a shorter version. What I have presented is a shorter version. I'll be giving very soon another link where I have done a detailed report.
Right.
Detailed report of all this. For easy reference only I have done this, the shorter version. So what I say is I have prioritized the issues from 1 to 26. So I will address those issues based on priority. By the time I leave, I found to be elected. I'm sure that I will be elected. I'm quite confident. If once I'm elected, I will be addressing those issues based on priority. The day I leave, you are elected for a period of 1 year. Traditionally, it can be extended for a maximum period of 2 years. So within the 2 years, unlike the other elections, you are not elected for 4 years or 5 years. So within the period, given period, I will try to resolve based on priority the maximum number of issues, because I always say I'm a practical and a pragmatic man. I believe in giving quick solutions to people's problems. I don't believe in writing letters. You know, in this country, Shalan, you write letters, you will be writing letters up and down. Nothing will happen. Nothing will move. So you need to, take on the issues. In fact, I will cite you 2 examples. There were 2 issues that were brought to my attention. 2 so simple examples. One issue was when lawyers visit prisons, that they are subjected to harassment by the prison officials. So certain criminal lawyers who are practicing in the high courts, they brought this issue to my attention. Immediately I took them, went and met the Commissioner General of Prisons. At that time the new Commissioner General was just appointed. And I went and discussed, because certain lawyers were even subject to body checks. So there was a question about our integrity, the nobility of the legal profession. So I managed to resolve that issue. So one day when I was walking down the Commercial High Court after a case, there was a notice put out, pasted on the High Court registry, saying that from today onwards no lawyers can enter the registry. So then certain lawyers walked up to me and said, sir, this is a big problem, because lawyers are not permitted to enter the registry and we cannot get about with our day-to-day activities without checking. Sometimes there is a need to check the records. So immediately I contacted some of the High Court judges whom I know, because I have practiced before them. So immediately, it was on a Friday. On the next coming Monday, I had a meeting with the High Court judges of Colombo. And on Monday itself, I was able to provide a solution to those problems. So I believe, people, I am known as a doer. So people like my approach and my attitude, because I always call a spade a spade. I'm not reluctant to call a spade a spade. And I find I have always acted in the best interest of my colleagues, the legal profession.
So speaking on that issue, you have also included in your vision and your work plan for the Bar Association a section that deals with the issues faced by lawyers, just as you spoke. Do you believe that the Bar Association can really do more to solve these issues that are faced by lawyers when they visit government institutions?
Of course, it's a question of our nobility and our dignity. The complaints that I have received during my visits to the arbitration bars, mainly are, for an example, you visit the land registries. There are issues that the lawyers face. Lawyers are not given their due place. They are treated like, even worse than an ordinary person. So when a lawyer visits a police station, they face problems. Even in court registries, lawyers are facing problems. So on and so forth. There are so many instances, issues, especially with regard to your dignity and especially your nobility of the profession. So we need to discuss these issues with the relevant authorities, bring about, we need to resolve these issues and make sure that the legal profession is given due recognition.
There has been an increasing number of female practitioners in the legal profession. There is a section in your 26-point plan for the Bar Association under your leadership that deals specifically with the issues of female practitioners in the Bar Association. What are the issues that you've identified and how do you...
Thank you, Charlotte. When I announced my candidacy in the month of June, it was the Women Lawyers Association, the Sri Lanka Women Lawyers Association, who approached me first. They in fact approached me and they said they would like to meet me. And in fact I met them. And that was my first meeting. It was organized by the Sri Lanka Women Lawyers Association. And there were more than 75 lawyers at that meeting, representing the Sri Lanka Women Lawyers Association. And they gave me a set of papers pointing out these are the issues that the women lawyers face in this country. So then also they said that they have confidence in me, that I will be able to address those issues, and they have pledged their support to me. So I would very confidently say the Women Lawyers Association, the Sri Lanka Women Lawyers Association, is fully backing me at this election because they have confidence in me. And I will certainly address the issues that I have highlighted in my vision and my work plan concerning the women lawyers.
So we've also...
Because majority of the batches or the new entrants to the legal profession, 70% I would say, are females. So they play a key role, and I have also suggested to enhance the representation, women lawyers representation in the Bar Association.
You mean in the leadership of the Bar Association?
Of course, they must take part, because if you go to even if you go to the when you go to the provinces, you find that most of the lawyers seated at the bar table, majority are females. So their voice, they must be given a voice. That is why, in fact, I have even from the Junior Bar Committee platform, in fact, I have even promoted female lawyers to address their issues, and we had 2 such seminars.
So also, we are currently in your vision and mission for the Bar Association. You've mentioned this point as well. Sri Lanka is in the process of drafting a new constitution. In your vision and mission statement for the Bar Association, you have dedicated a certain section for the Bar Association's involvement in drafting new laws for the country. How do you plan on getting the Bar Association to intervene under your leadership?
Yes, I say that whenever laws are being drafted, the Bar Association should be consulted. The Bar Association should be given a mandatory representation. There is no point, because there have been instances in the past where the Bar Association had to, as an association, intervene in judicial proceedings. When certain laws that the government intended to pass in the past, there had been...
Best example is the 20th Amendment to the Constitution.
The Bar Association had to intervene. So likewise, there had been many instances where the Bar Association had to intervene and make their presence felt in the Supreme Court, and to certain laws the Bar Association had opposed. So if the Bar Association is consulted before these laws are in the process of drafting, we can avoid a lot of conflicts. Then the Bar Association can directly express their concerns or their agreement to the laws that are to be enacted. So in that way, I believe that as an association, there had to be a harmonious relationship with the government. When it comes to drafting of laws, that the Bar Association must be given a place, mandatorily the Bar Association must be accommodated in that process.
My final question to you, sir, since we are in the final few minutes of the show, especially because COVID-19 has pushed us to live in the new normal, you have dedicated a section in your vision and mission plan for digitization of court proceedings, introducing novel technologies. Do you think you can do this in 1 year?
No, I must say that by now, it has started already. I think the Ministry of Justice has taken the initiative under the incumbent Honorable Minister of Justice. An initiative has been taken to introduce technology to courthouses. Now, when you are to introduce, in fact, this was done, not now, even in the past, new technology was introduced as a pilot project. And there was a project called the Judicial and Legal Reforms Project. During that period, to the Commercial High Court, they introduced legal transcript, video conferencing, giving evidence by your video conferencing facilities, and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, after some time, you can even still visit those courthouses. It was done as a pilot project, one in the Commercial High Court, one in the District Court number 1 in Colombo, and in several, I think 1 or 2 courthouses are in the outstation areas, in the provinces. But those machines are collecting dust. But now, because of the COVID pandemic, I think we have no option. Sometimes we are compelled to use technology. Technology is good, but people must be trained. Then facilities must be made available. No one should feel that because only certain lawyers have access to justice or a part of the administration of justice system, because they are equipped. There are lawyers, junior lawyers, who even find it difficult to purchase a computer. So we need to draw a mechanism, and we make it a level playing field for everyone if you have to adopt technology.
So you believe the Bar Association can intervene in creating a level playing field?
Of course. The Bar Association has to intervene. I think the Bar Association has no choice. If you have to work in these conditions, maybe that's why I have said in my work plan and my vision, number 1 issue is the, working under these conditions. That's the number 1 priority. Because we have to, whether we like it or not, for the next 6 months, we may have to work under these conditions.
At least.
At least, hopefully. Let's hope for the best. But at least for the next 6 months. So it's going to be a challenge. It's challenging, especially to the junior lawyers who are finding it extremely difficult.
Thank you very much, President's Counsel Kuvera de Zoysa, for joining us on our show and expressing your views regarding your candidacy for the Bar Association election and the future, of course, for the Bar Association under your leadership, if you are elected.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I wish you all the very best.
And I wish you all the very best too, sir, for the upcoming election. Thank you very much also to all our viewers out there for tuning in. Of course, we will see you again, same time, same place, next week. Until then, take care and God bless.